Hey, hey, what's happening, everyone out there? It's Saturday. You know what that means. Time for another excruciatingly awesome episode of APW Detonate right here on YouTube. I am the old school AP, being joined once again by the Bard of the Boiler Room, the Deacon of Destrucity, the Pontiff of Pain himself, the one and only Kind Man. How the hell are you doing today, Kind Man?
I'm doing excellent. I'm doing as good as I could be doing for someone that lost their title at the Royal Rumble.
I know, and how handsome does it look adorned on the alien's neck back there?
Well, I am actually as positive and as 100% confident after losing than I ever could have been in the past because it was completely self-inflicted. I had Drew McIntyre on my list over MJF, and you know what it was? They wrote me into the script of winning the Royal Rumble, and when I grabbed onto the top rope, my hand slipped. I was the champion that they had in mind, and all of a sudden they had to scramble and go to Plan B because I fucked up.
A little bit of sweat on the rope, right?
That makes me confident that I know you're fallible and I know I could beat you.
Well, of course I'm fallible. Yeah. I mean, you've already defeated me once.
Oh, no, I know. I'm just...
By the way, you didn't put your initials in the belt, buddy.
I did not because I was going to wait for at least two. And I didn't have I didn't make the trip to Staples for a silver Sharpie.
Gotcha. No sweat. I just want to make sure that next time we'll get it. We will get it. But to reiterate, once again, I am the champion, and I'm feeling pretty good about that. And I'm not sure if I'll just have him sit over there on Roger's neck all day. Is that a good name for him, Roger? He kind of seems like a Roger. I don't know.
It's just an alien, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Roger's fine.
Roger
that.
Yeah. That way he can perk up and go, yep, I said it. Yeah. No, but Roger. Yeah, I think we just found a name for... I've been going over this in my head over the past, 3 or 4 weeks, what I'm going to name him, because he obviously deserves a name. He's a humanoid figure of all, he's got feelings, I think. But yeah, little Roger. Good name. Thanks, Kind Man. You are indeed the kindest of the kind.
Oh, the kindest guy in the boiler room.
That's right. The nicest guy in jail. Speaking about being kind and nice, I want to start today's episode off with a little bit of AEW stuff. And I know, Kind Man, you've got a couple of observations that you made over the course of the week from AEW. And I know I'm I'm the AEW fan and you're the one coming with observations, right? I think that's funny. But, and I have a couple of things I could talk about AEW on my own, but I'll save those for later because it's really, regarding Sting and his retirement and the whole thing. I want to make sure I give that proper runway. So we'll talk about that next time. But Kind Man, please indulge me.
So I think the first one's more of a question for you.
Sure.
Because I'm still getting used to a lot of the characters. And there's one in particular that I just don't get. I don't get why he's popular. I don't get his shtick. I get it, but I just don't find it entertaining at all. Mm-hmm. And he's one of the most popular guys. And so I just don't get Orange Cassidy. So I want you to help me get him. Why is he interesting? Why is he a favorite? I don't see him that good in the ring. I don't see him. He certainly has no personality, which is his shtick. Don't care about anything, from wherever, weighing whatever. Right. I don't get him. I just don't find him entertaining at all.
You know what? You and me neither. Okay. I don't get him either. I know he's really popular with a younger fan base, and I think that's great. But at the same time, most wrestling characters should be accessible to as many people as possible, mm-hmm. In order for them to really work, Having a niche wrestler is great, but you're never going to get over onto the main card, like that. And in this case, he's over, but I really don't know why.
Okay.
I
That's
it
fair
it
enough
it,
because
it boggles my mind.
generally we have very different takes on characters. So
Sure,
that's why
no,
I was like, when I didn't like him, I assumed you'd love him.
no, no,
So
no. I could use Orange Cassidy matches as restroom breaks and just be fine. I'm good.
right. All right, so we're on the same
Yeah,
page there.
no, no. And I don't, and I'm not trying to be disparaging against somebody. Orange Cassidy guy obviously works. He obviously has a gimmick that works for him, and he's doing something right. Far be it from me to tell him to just change gears at this point. But you
No, I mean
know,
he's popular. That's what
yeah,
I was saying. It's like it's one of those things where he's popular, but I don't know why.
right, yeah, no. I guess we're old. That's the thing. Maybe we're too old to get it.
I yeah, I guess
Maybe
I
that's the
didn't
thing.
I don't
I
view
don't.
myself as the get off my lawn guy, but well, I mean he doesn't have any personality other
Right,
than just the I don't give a fuck guy.
right. Yeah. Well,
So
that's it. Yeah.
that makes him nothing on the mic.
Right.
He's not a good interview.
No.
He's not a good spot.
No.
I don't see anything fantabulous in the ring
No.
to
No.
say that makes up for it.
No. He's pretty
Like
generic. Yeah.
yeah, it's just yeah. But anyway, okay. Well, that's enough about Orange Cassidy.
No. And I mean, maybe the fact that he is generic is what makes him good. I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
If I knew,
Okay.
I'd have given you a better answer than shrugging my shoulders and go, buh.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I'm with
we
you.
disagree often, so
No, we agree on this
that's
one. Yeah.
okay.
I have
And
no
my
idea.
second one is a character at first I hated,
Okay.
and I thought it was the worst. And now I'm starting to warm up and really enjoy the character. So I flipped on this one, and it's Tony Storm.
Okay.
I'm so into Tony Storm right now.
It's great, isn't it?
I think the black and white, which I hated at first, now I
Oh
love.
no. Yeah.
Um, the just the over the top of the character
Yeah.
is tremendous.
And
Like
it
the
is.
other
And
they were talking about with that new person she's fighting, like
yeah.
just the way she tattoos
Yeah.
and
Deanna Purrazzo. Yeah.
yeah,
Tattoos. Yes.
I'm really I really enjoy that character now.
Yeah. No.
And
Tony
at
Storm
first
is
I was all
fantastic.
out, and now I'm all in.
Yeah. No. She's fantastic, and I'm really happy for her because this is finally an opportunity for her to really showcase to a national audience what she can do and what she's been doing. I this is a case, another situation where I don't think sometimes WWE isn't always the best place for people. Where they get put under such a microscope over there, and they're under such scrutiny that they can't really flourish or flower the way that a professional should be able to do in their chosen profession. And that comes from a lot of things. It stems from control and scripted versus going off the cuff, and there's a whole bunch. There's a whole mitigated. I'm tongue tied today. There's a whole mess about it that I could talk about, but the bottom line is, not all wrestlers are fit to be in WWE. And Tony Storm is a perfect example of somebody who, once outside that bubble, was really allowed to show how creative she can be and just how fun she can be. And I'm not even a big fan of some of these over the top, characters.
Yeah, no, I know.
And it just works. It clicks, and I loved it from the very beginning. I thought it was just the most fantastic thing she could ever done. You also kind of brought it up. You didn't bring it up, but you reminded me. Wrestlers who are doing well outside of WWE, talk about Swerve Strickland. This guy is coming, and he is coming hard and fast. And it's going to be, you're going to blink your eye, and he's going to be the AEW World Champion, and he deserves it.
I told you, I woke up the other day. It's 7:00 in the morning, and I woke up, and the first thing going through my head was his song.
That's
And
right.
I don't know why. I was like, why is it 7 in the morning? I'm cleaning junk out of my eyes, and all I can hear in the background is Swerve Strickland's intro.
I swerve
that-
when I drive,
Yeah,
when I drive, when I drive.
jackass dancing next to him.
Prince Nana. He cracks my shit up. Oh my God. So fucking funny. But no,
I agree. He's a star.
yeah, yeah, and there's a handful of folks over there that are just waiting to bust out. You know, I'm waiting for them to get their moment in the sun over there. But
Yep.
good for Tony Storm and good for Swerve. Both of
Yep.
them totally deserve it.
Yep.
So, Mr. Kindman, I understand that today is a top five heavy episode, and we're going to be doing a little bit. I'm going to shift gears a little bit to the top five because I know we got a little bit of time to get a whole bunch of stuff in. So let's start going through it a little bit. I know you have a top five list, and it's more of a discussion than anything else.
Yeah.
So
I think it's storylines. As this is kind of the road to WrestleMania week.
yeah,
On all the WWE shows, just kind of the storylines going into and just discussing them. Um, and I think I gotta have 5.5, so I'll give you a quick half one. Um, is I see a little bit of touching upon up and comers versus some aging everyday, like top stars. I see them taking a few people I'll talk about in another storyline, like Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley, and kind of making them a little more fallible, making them a
mhm,
little more um them losing more often or getting beat up more often, and kind of making it from them being so dominant. And then you see on the other side, you see some of these up and comers like Obafemi and Tiffany Stratton,
mm,
that I think are about to take a stage as they get in. So I see them starting to write some things in with some of the established older folks, making them just a little bit not that they can be beaten, they can be
yeah.
hit, they can be this when they didn't make them that way prior. And then you see these up and comers that they're making really good. So that's kind of my half of storyline to keep an eye out for
Sure.
the new age versus kind of the established group, because I think they're starting to bash heads a little bit there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number five, I'll just get your thoughts because I don't know where they're going with this.
Hmm.
I don't. Have they announced when Jay Uso is facing Gunther? Is that?
I don't know. Is that going to be at the Elimination Chamber?
Well, see, that's what I don't know. I think it makes a whole lot more interesting if it's at WrestleMania.
Oh, I do too.
Um, uh, so that's kind of my fifth storyline: is what are they going to do with Gunther?
Yeah.
Obviously, he has to lose that belt at some point, and then he gets immediately put into the heavyweight title, um,
Yeah.
whichever one it is that he would be after. But I find that very interesting, and I don't know where they're going with it. I hope the Jey Uso Gunther match, and I did Google it just to see if it had been
Hmm.
announced. I guess it hasn't.
Okay.
Hopefully that goes to WrestleMania, because there's just no way he loses prior to WrestleMania. But I
Yeah.
think WrestleMania could be the moment where he does ultimately lose that belt, and then gets right after then has a confrontation with whoever comes out on top, and of the main belts.
So here's a potential wrench in this, and forgive me, I don't have it up in front of me, but I should say when are they going to Germany? Because Gunther's not going to drop the strap until after that, I don't think.
Okay.
So that
Yeah.
would put him post WrestleMania loss,
Okay.
and and I just
Or he could win the title, the other title in Germany.
he could, yeah, oh, that's entirely possible too, or I mean, God, there's so many things, right?
Yeah. But obviously they have a plan for him, and
Sure,
it where I do have some thoughts on some of the other storylines and where they're going. I'm really don't know on him, but
right.
I'm excited to
Oh, I
to
am
see
too.
where he's going.
You know, and the thing is, they've really handled Gunther with care, with immaculate care over the past year. And to me, that's refreshing to see because, there was a time when, maybe they wouldn't have done such a good job with their guys. They really are working out of their way. It's kind of like you said earlier with your half of an observation is they're really kind of pitting, this old guard versus the new guard kind of deal here. It's the same thing over here. Is this is in addition to making their elders look fallible, which should
Yeah.
at some point, they're also making their champions look vulnerable, or look more vulnerable, or I'm sorry, not vulnerable. They're looking at making them look stronger by booking them with multi-hundred day reigns and long reigns to go. I mean, you couldn't book them any stronger. So I don't know where I was going with that,
By the
but
way, that's a shout back to us as kids, because there was a time where they changed belts like underwear.
yeah,
Um, like for example, when you see like how many times Randy Orton has won the the World Heavyweight Championship. It's like 21 time champion. It's like, well, that means he lost 21 times.
yeah,
Um, and so but back in the day it was Hogan for years.
hmm,
Um, and they made it they made for a while just changing belts like underwear, and
yeah,
changing champions. And I like I like that it's kind of old school where the champion stays the champion, but also it's tiresome
yeah,
for people like Roman Reigns. Like I still,
yeah,
when we talk about me not getting Orange Cassidy, I don't get Roman Reigns. I just I don't find him interesting. I don't find his storylines interesting. Um, and I think we'll talk about that in a little
yeah.
bit
We'll
too.
get to Roman Reigns in a bit,
Yeah.
but but
So yeah, I think we agree that Gunther's, we don't know
yeah,
where it's going, but it's interesting.
yeah. No, I'm excited to see where it goes, and I hope that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they aren't gonna let Gunther march into Germany as the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion. Maybe they won't. But I just got a gut feeling that's what they're gonna save it for. So
Yeah, well, I mean, they're really screwing with us with these time zones.
right, we can't
No,
watch a
I
pay per
I
view.
sure as shit ain't watching Elimination Chamber at 4 a.m. Like I can tell you that. I'm gonna have to catch that one on tape delay.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll get up and watch it. It reminds me of when I used to live in Northern Ireland, and I would get up at 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning to watch these things because that's when they would air. Like
Yeah,
you gotta kid me. And then you're up until like 5 in the morning. By that point, you might as well just shower and go to work. So,
yeah. But
yep,
so number four, I thought kind of a good discussion point, because it is Road to WrestleMania, is talking about the Elimination Chamber matches, and I kind of
right.
touched on them making Becky a little fallible, and
Hmm.
and the winner of this is going against, well, what should be Rhea. I wouldn't imagine, although they are making Nia Jax out to be kind of the Ripley killer in their writing. I can't see her actually winning.
No,
I could see her beating Rhea up,
sure.
and and all of that. But so the people involved, so we have Becky Lynch and Bianca, who have already qualified. Then we have Liv Morgan versus Zoe Stark, Tiffany Stratton versus Shotzi. We have Naomi versus Vega,
Hmm.
and that is 1, 2, 3, 5. That is only five. I could not find the sixth qualifier match, so I do not think that has been announced.
Okay,
I had all six men's have been announced.
right.
Um, but for my storyline, I actually, this goes back to what I said earlier about old guard versus new guard. Um, I think everyone's just kind of already saying it's going to be Becky Lynch, to win the Elimination Chamber, you
Eh,
know, or Bianca, or whatever.
Bianca's my pick to win that, but yeah,
Okay, okay. So I think that's, and I kind of have two different picks. Obviously Bianca and Becky are in good shape because they've already won their qualifier,
Right.
and don't have to win another match just to get in. But I really like, and they had her until the end in the Royal Rumble. Liv Morgan, I think they're going to get her back in the mix of everything. So I think she's certainly a live candidate to win the Elimination Chamber. And I, as I said earlier, keep your eye on Tiffany Stratton. Um, I think she could make waves here. I don't see Shotzi going to the Elimination Chamber.
No.
Um, Tiffany Stratton is, I think, one of the most fascinating lead ups, and a lot of people will disagree with me, and please put in the comments and all of that. I think one of the most wildly interesting WrestleMania main events would be Rhea Ripley versus Tiffany Stratton.
Hmm.
I think Tiffany Stratton's bit is so opposite of Rhea Ripley, and just as women, they're so polar opposite. I think that would be a fantastic story. And
Okay.
that's what I'm cheering for to happen at Elimination Chamber.
So what you're cheering for to happen and what actually happens might be a different story.
Correct.
But yeah.
And by the way, what I'm cheering for to happen and what I might predict are
Right.
two different things too.
What you're predicting to happen is going to be a different story too, I'm sure. But
I don't know.
no?
I'd like to see the lead up, but I just think that matchup in WrestleMania would be fascinating to me, and I'm sure a lot of people disagree with me.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I disagree with you, just so much as, I think, and we'll talk more about this too when we get to the later parts, but, it's another case of WWE outthinking themselves. Quit trying to meander us through this little snake way, taking every weave and cut in there, and just give us the straight up, here it is, boom. This is the way it is. This is the match. This is the thing. This is the deal. If they would have just done that from the get-go, they could have added anything they wanted to it in post and made it work. And instead, now we have a big mess. But I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the big match.
Yeah.
So that's my women's
Very good.
championship, kind of elimination chamber one. The third, I'll go to the kind of the men's elimination chamber, which I think the qualifiers are just largely like Snorville. They're just guys in it that just aren't going to win
No.
elimination chamber. Like
Ivar.
Ivar. I mean, I
Ivar.
mean, Dominic Mysterio.
Right.
Like
Dominic.
really? Like
Yeah.
what is the point of putting Dominic
Yeah.
Mysterio in this other than having, if he beats Kevin Owens, which I don't think he will,
Oh,
but
no.
just having someone from that faction in the elimination chamber. I don't know. I don't know where they're going with that, but McIntyre's in, Randy Orton's in, which actually got me a little surprised. I actually thought there was a storyline for Sami Zayn that they were kind of hinting towards
Mm.
that he could make waves at WrestleMania. So I was a tad surprised last night on that qualifier, but then we have LA Knight versus Ivar. The drama. We have Miz versus Logan Paul and Owens versus Dominic, and then in the all-time Snorefest qualifier, Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. Uh,
Oh,
so
meat.
who knows? But I think this will be interesting. I have my eye. A lot of people, you probably included. I think we had this in chat. Is you think this is just a Drew McIntyre build
Yeah.
up,
Yeah, I do.
which it absolutely looks like it is. I still think they're going to get LA Knight back in the mix sooner rather than later. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's here, but I think this is really a McIntyre versus LA Knight thing. And I
Yeah.
think obviously McIntyre is a favorite, but I would not be shocked if LA Knight came out of this either.
Right. Yeah.
So, but I don't think I honestly we have 12 people. Now we're down to 10. But we had 12 people in these qualifiers, and honestly, 10 of them had no shot.
Yeah. Go Ivar.
Yeah, oh yeah, tremendous. Like talk about talk about them trying to force something. I mean, his tag team partner gets injured, and the only thing they can try to do is put him in the mix.
No. Or just stick him on Raw and make him wrestle the Alpha Academy every week for the next freaking 10 months. Jesus.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
And by the
that's
way,
kind of the
since we're on that, really, just answer me this. Help me out. Is there a gimmick with Valhalla and those fucking horns? What does Michael Cole get all upset about the antlers for
I have no idea.
on commentary? No, you didn't hear that? Where he's like, "Oh, I keep telling Valhalla to wear her antlers." I just thought maybe you knew what that was all about.
No.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe that's the thing. It's weird.
I do think Valhalla is sneaky hot.
You know who that? You know that's Sarah Logan, right? You know who that is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
No, I've Googled it.
Okay. I think isn't she married to one of those guys?
I don't know.
I think she's married to I think either Ivar or what. She's married to one of them.
Okay.
But, yeah. So you're gonna have to fight a Viking raider to get her. Just
Okay, well,
FYI.
that is I have now learned I am not her type.
You'll have to get squashed.
Yes. Although I am from Norway.
You don't look it.
I am of Norwegian descent.
Wow. You don't look
Yeah.
it, man.
I'm 25% Norwegian, 25% Irish, 25% French Canadian, and 25%, this one you'd never guess.
Native
The last
American.
25% I am Native American.
Yep. I knew that, by the way. I'm just
Oh, okay. My great grandmother grew up in a teepee.
damn. Now that's
Yeah.
real. That's old school, folks.
That's real serious,
That's the real shit.
Native American.
Yeah. Fucking hell. All right. Let's see. What is
So that's three.
That's
Talking about kind
three.
of the other men's title and the let's go to two, which is Bailey versus Damage Control.
right? That's not getting near enough love, and I know CM Punk posted a video about that, which maybe he has a right to do, but
Oh, I can't wait for those like little blow up dolls to start coming into the entrance again. But Bailey's already getting her flowers. She's already made the complete flip
yeah,
to good person, and you get them really playing up the kind of the racial part of it. That this
Yeah.
is the three from Japan versus now, because now Dakota sticking up for
but is she? We
I
don't
think
know.
she is.
You think she
I
is?
mean,
Okay.
that's what they showed. At least they showed
Wow.
her taking swipes at Damage Control. But to your point, that could be a setup.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I would think that's probably the better way to go about it, because I think right now it looks way too racial for me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a language thing, kind of Bailey has alluded to, but yeah, I think it's a fascinating storyline. I'm very much looking forward to that match, as well as the lead up. I think that will be a fantastic match at WrestleMania, a main event, one of the nights. I mean, if they're going to stick to their guns with the two winners of the Royal Rumble, get the two main events. That is, I think it's going to be one of the all-time classics as far as a women's match. So I'm fired up about it. I like the storyline. You bring up a really good point, that Dakota still could be a
Rogue
factor
agent. Yes, a factor.
in Bailey versus the world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like I thought, I honestly thought last night when she got out of the ring, I'm like, yep, she's coming into. It's going to be a 4-on-1 job. But to your point, I think.
Right. Just because you swing a couple
up.
of chairs at some ring ropes doesn't mean you attacked your compadres,
Correct.
So, I don't know. Maybe I'm a skeptic. I'm a wrestling fan, so you put those two things together, and you know, out comes whatever. But
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I've always liked Asuka, and I've always thought
Oh,
she was fantastic. And I have to admit that I've not seen a lot of Io Sky single wrestler, and I've not seen a lot of I don't know anything about Dakota Kai. I've never seen.
yeah.
I don't think I've
I,
ever seen her wrestle.
I
Um,
haven't.
so I mean, some of these things are kind of unknowns to me at this point. So
I think
um,
Io Sky is really good.
is she? 'Cause I
I've seen a lot of Io Sky, high flyer, really, really good.
and I don't doubt that, right? And I can't wait to see it, right? And I'm sure that I'm going to get treated to a good match at WrestleMania,
Yeah.
no doubt. Um, I think she came in after I had quit watching WWE, and I just never the same one with Kyrie Sane. I mean, I remember watching her a little bit, but I was never too enthralled with what she did, to
No,
be
I'm
honest.
not, I'm not big on Kyrie Sane. I'm big on Asuka. I'm
Yeah,
actually kind of disappointed that they have Asuka in the tag route because I think she's
yeah,
a fantastic person to have in the main mix.
yeah, most
Um,
definitely.
but listen, there's only so many spots in
Right.
that main mix.
Yeah, not
I
everyone
mean,
gets to be an astronaut.
yeah, no, absolutely.
uh um
So number one,
Here we go.
let me wind you up and let you go about how they have handled kind of the initial, because actually we kind of disagreed how they originally set this up, that I actually thought
Yeah.
it was a more interesting um storyline, because if we put the four people out there
Hmm.
and we put them in the matches they kind of originally made it sound like there was going to be, um I actually thought they were the two best matchups and two most interesting storylines.
Yeah.
um because I never was a when since when, and I'll ask you this one question, then I'll just let you go. Since when has the SmackDown belt been the biggest title? Because it never has been in my lifetime. Raw has always been the greater title.
No.
Um,
Well, no.
so,
No. So here's where I think people are kind of getting, crossways on this a little bit. The title that Roman Reigns has now is basically a merger between, for all intents and purposes, the old World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship, which they then combined into calling the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then they went on to say, we're going to create a new title called the Universal title, right? And then they're going to merge that title with the Universal title. So now it's the Universal World Heavyweight WWE fucking balls out champion, right? And eventually it gets to be such a ridiculous fucking thing that it's just a lump of meaningless buzzwords, right?
yeah.
It doesn't mean anything, right? So that's why they've simplified it and called it the WWE Championship again, right? Which is what it should be. It's what it always has been, and what it should be from now until the time that it goes away. That's another story. That's another discussion. What I'm saying is, this title that Seth has on him now was created out of thin air, has no lineage, has nothing to it, right? So of course Seth's been the only champion. So, as try as I might to
Well, but
put
there's
fault.
always been a champion on Raw. There's always been I mean, for the
No,
longest time, there's been two champions.
no, it's my understanding that that when Roman was the champ, like he was the champ, he went back and forth between brands, but there was not a world champion on Raw, nor was there a world champion on SmackDown. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I haven't watched in,
I
in
think
4
there
years.
was two titles for quite some time.
Was
They've
there?
just rebranded them.
Well, either way you slice it, this secondary title, because that's what it is. Let's not fucking mince words. Was basically, here you go, Seth. Have this, and now you get to be the world champion on Raw. It to me, that's where the heart of the argument is, and that's a perfect question to bring it up, because when it comes to, and look, I don't have a problem. Cody can wrestle for whatever he wants, right? He can wrestle for the Universal title. He can wrestle for the World Heavyweight Championship. He can wrestle for whatever he wants. But, you know, you can't fool me, and you can't fool the fans who know, who are in the know on this stuff, who understand, you know, lineage and history, who have been there since, you know, day zero, pretty much. I mean, people don't realize I started watching wrestling in the 70s. I know more about this stuff than well, I know a lot about it. Let's just say that. And it just did not sit well with me as an old school wrestling fan to have them pull a bait and switch on us, right? When this was whole first announced, because let's be honest, that's what it was. It was, here we go. Here's, you know, The Rock is coming back and he's going to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. And they did the whole angle on SmackDown where Cody gave up his spot, right? He gave up his challenging to Roman Reigns, and there you go. And then, of course, at the press conference, just about a week later, which was night before, Thursday night? Yeah. Thursday night. You know, we had the whole, you know, rumble, the whole rigmarole that went around it. But all of this was just, look, I'll cut to the chase. All of this was terribly booked in my opinion. I don't think the left hand knew what the right hand was doing. I think, again, this is a perfect example of a company trying desperately to book something great and magical, and they thought, God, what's going to be great about this is everybody wants to see The Rock wrestle again, right? That's amazing. No, people don't want to see The Rock wrestle again if it means.
See, I disagree with that.
If it means him taking away.
WrestleMania is about stars. WrestleMania is about stars. It's not about the best card, the best wrestling show. It's about star power.
Man, I don't know if I agree with that either. But
that's how they approach it, whether right, wrong, or indifferent.
Well,
like I expect stars at WrestleMania, and
I expect stars too, but I want them to be in their place. I want them to do the things. And look, I know Rock is a special case. He's a case where he was a wrestler who became a bona fide star and can still wrestle again. So there's a whole difference there, right? But let's be honest, you know, he's not a wrestler anymore. He's Hollywood.
Understood, but he still has the physique, the ability.
I disagree.
The skills.
He might have a physique, but he does not have the ability. That dude gets gassed walking to the ring.
Well, I don't know, and you probably have a better feel for this than I do. I don't see them as changing this like midweek, like they were like, oh, I don't see them reacting to the poor reaction and then
but that's what they did.
But no, was it a plan? Was it a plan to vilify The Rock?
No, it was not a plan to vilify The Rock. They didn't think he was going to get booed. They had to. That's what I'm saying. They had to change course.
That's what I don't know.
They had to change course.
We don't know what goes.
Well, no, I don't know what goes on, but I'm telling you, from a 1,000-foot view, from everything I've seen, this reeks of poor booking. Reeks of it.
It absolutely does. But there's a part of me that says this was the plan.
The plan was to book it like shit?
The plan was to vilify The Rock, which then creates the family versus Cody, which I think is going to ultimately end up in a triple threat match.
But all they did was split the fan base. So instead of getting a fan base angry at The Rock, now, whether it was an intended consequence or not, you also have fans who are getting angry at Cody. Because they, like you, want to see The Rock in the WrestleMania main event. This is what I'm saying. I think
we are going to see The Rock in the WrestleMania.
Well, I think so too. What? I think so too. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, he's going to be the one that eats the pin. I think you said that too.
I think that this, for all the people that are upset about it, I think this is the clearest path to Cody finishing the story.
Oh, I do too. I do too.
And so for those reasons, I'm in, right? Like whether they meant to do it or whether they just called it audible because of all the poor reaction, at this point it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's done. What's done is done.
It's done.
Yeah.
It looked really shitty, and I did,
Right.
even though I thought Rock versus Roman and Seth versus Cody was, if I put all four names on a board
Right.
and I said, give me the two most compelling matchups. If we had those four people, I think you have the best option. If you're
Yeah.
talking about those four people, their original plan.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, give me a better scenario with those four guys
Um,
than Rock,
there isn't
Roman.
a better scenario with those four
Correct.
guys, and
Correct.
it's unfortunate because I say we had a mouse in my pocket. They had every opportunity to do better in the build up
Sure.
to this thing, and
100%.
yeah, I don't know.
No,
don't know.
I don't agree.
I
I agree it was handled poorly.
Yeah.
But if they were going the route with those four guys, they had the right two matchups.
I don't know. You mean initially with Seth versus Cody and
and I'm saying big if they had those four guys, Rock versus Roman and Cody versus what's his name? Seth.
Right.
Are the two, as a whole, those two matches
Sure.
are the best two matches.
But see, this is where we get back to lineage, right? And I brought that up earlier because I want to really put an emphasis on this. Cody said it himself. The belt that Roman has as the belt represents the belt that his father held in the garden that was snatched away. That's the belt he wants. Him wrestling Seth Rollins would have done nothing to that. And we've spent the last 2 years. But they no, wait. They spent the last 2 years building up. Cody has to finish the story for him to wrestle for a title that his dad never held. That's not finishing the story. Not even close.
You said it yourself. Those titles have gone through the wash.
I understand that, but
and all that.
This isn't what I'm saying. This is what they're saying. They're the ones who are pushing this story, not me.
100%. You 100% correct.
This is why I say it was booked like shit.
But by the way, there have and we got. Do we have a fact check team on our staff? But I could almost swear there's pretty much always been a SmackDown and a Raw title. There's always been for the longest time. There's been two tag team titles. There's been two women's titles.
Well, yeah, I mean, there may be. I have to look.
I'm pretty sure that belt that Seth has was not just created out of thin air. It was morphed from something else. Just like the one Roman has. It's morphed from something else. But you're right. When they said, when Cody said, that's the belt my father never won. When he said that, you are 100% spot on.
Right. That's finishing the story.
Because they set that up.
Right. So you can't bait and switch people that way. This is what I'm saying. This is, yeah. I don't know. I think I've made my point. I'm not going to get spun up about it. But yeah, it's
But by the way, if they didn't say that, if Cody didn't say that, there wouldn't be an uproar over which belt he was going to have.
No.
It would be finishing the story either way.
Yeah, of course it would.
Yep.
So dumb fuck on you, WWE.
Yeah, no, it wasn't handled well. But but the good news is they have a few months to hash this out. As I just said, my early prediction is that Cody gets goaded into a match with The Rock.
Right.
And if The Rock wins, he gets added to it. And The Rock beats Cody, gets added to the match. And then Cody wins the triple threat match and finishes the story. And I think you nailed it in our chat last night, that it will be Cody pinning The Rock.
Yeah.
So that Roman can then scream and yell that I was never pinned for my title.
Exactly. That's the whole point. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, too, you're going to have, I'm going to call this, too, I think Triple H is going to come in the ring at the end of WrestleMania and put that strap on Cody's waist.
Yeah, I think that's very fair.
You know, it may not happen, but I just get this weird feeling that's what's going to happen. Like he's going to go in and crown his champion, like his first champion. So
I do think this clusterfuck though set up Cody very well.
it did. I mean, and ultimately it did. And I hope that, you know, there's not a huge ramification of, you know, or a backlash of fans against him because of this.
I don't.
And, well, you say that, but there are Rock fans who The Rock went out and said, you know, hey, this is Cody Crybabies, and I know he's doing a wrestling thing, but you know his words have strength behind him. So it's nothing to start a whole movement and get people to start booing Cody Rhodes, and that would not be what they want to have either. So,
I don't think that's going to stick.
I hope it doesn't stick. I hope it doesn't.
I think what they've done is now they've turned The Rock completely heel. And you know, and it's going to be touted as a 2-on-1. Cody can't win, you know, whatever. And everyone's going to be behind Cody.
Yeah. By the way, did you know that The Rock is a high chief?
Yes.
That's crazy to me. I didn't realize it until I saw that stupid family tree that PowerPoint presentation The Rock gave us all. Fucking like, what the hell is this? Yeah, there's some Samoans who love to fuck. I'm telling you what. Jesus.
PowerPoints on Raw.
Yeah, PowerPoint presentation. Oh God. Well, look. Anyways, this has been a very entertaining conversation, and this has been a fine top 5 list. Is there anything else you want to add in conclusion?
No, I think we ran the gamut of the storylines. And by the way, this was an idea from one of our listeners that asked us to do top 5 storylines, leading into WrestleMania. So if anyone has any suggestions of top 5 lists, this was more of a discussion.
That's right.
Hit us up.
Put it in the comments
on the subscribe button and add comments.
That's right. Or join us on Discord and you can chat live with us during these shows. That's a fun thing to do.
Except Elimination Chamber.
Except Elimination Chamber.
Because I am not located in Perth, Australia.
Kind man is not waking up.
No, that means, I mean, listen, that we don't generally do wagers for every pay-per-view, just some of the biggies, but that cemented that we will not have a wager on Elimination Chamber.
Right.
We'll give predictions, but the belt will not be on the line. I will have to wait until April to have my shot.
That's right.
To get it back.
That's right. Until then, Roger's going to hang on to it over here.
Roger that.
He's got it. Roger that. All right. And on that note, we want to thank all of you for taking the time to be with us today. Please consider dropping an elbow on that subscribe button. And if you're feeling extra saucy, frog splash over to that thumbs up button. We sure would appreciate it. And please share our channel with other people you think might like this sort of thing. It helps us grow and it helps you because you get more content. That's right. Once again, thank you so much, and we'll see you right here next time on another awesome episode of ABW Detonate. Take care, everybody.
Have a nice day. Almost forgot my tagline.